know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Welcome back to the SweetPeaDiaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea, and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the SweetPeaDiaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So I would like to thank our sponsor, Ano Acne Treatment, for sponsoring tonight's video. Finding your best skin is something many of us struggle with, but it does not have to be like that anymore thanks to Ano Acne Treatment. Ready to fight any skincare emergency. When it comes to tackling acne breakouts and severe acne scar removal, Ano is the best. Their products are sulfate and alcohol free, made with 100% natural compounds. Their website also contains a wealth of skincare knowledge, so head on over there today by clicking the link in the description box below. All SweetPeaDiaries viewers can enjoy 25% off as well as an additional 20% off by using our discount code below. Discover Ano Acne Treatment today. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. All right, who we got in the building? We got Maya, my member. We got Mimi Twin, Erica Kennedy, it's Nikki, not Nikki, my moderator, Sassy, the red lipstick hustler, Lily. And we got people coming in. All right, so you guys come on in. This is going to be part 2 of this whole explanation of the Kardashian and Kris Jenner lawsuit against Blac Chyna. Well, it is Blac Chyna against them, child. Okay, we know that she's alleging that they stopped her bag. Okay, they stopped her bag by having Rob and Chyna's show canceled. They told E, get rid of them. They said, Kris said, ditch the bitch. All right, she's ghetto, ditch her, or we ain't playing. If you want our show, you gonna ditch that bitch. Okay, so of course, they're saying that, listen, we don't listen to 17-year-olds, because they're alleging that Kylie even sent an email and they're like, listen, we don't listen to 17-year-olds, we don't listen to other people about the show. The show was actually canceled because Rob and Chyna, it was no more Rob and Chyna, and the show cannot continue if there is no Rob and Chyna. So there is a lot being alleged in this lawsuit, as well as Chyna and Rob's history of DV, Rob threatening to kill herself all the time in text messages. We read that stuff yesterday. So we're going to actually go into part 2. We're going to talk about what happened today in court, as well as go over Rob's explanation of the revenge porn incident that he had on July 5th, 2017. When y'all know, when he went on a rampage on social media and released all these photos of Chyna and all these narratives that she cheated and all this stuff, and that she leaves Dream in order to go party and do drugs. All of this, he actually had a rebuttal to it. So we're going to look at those documents. We're going to also discuss documents that were issued by the Kardashians' attorney, where they were asking the court to file sanctions against Blac Chyna back in 2019 because she was not answering to the court documents. She was not turning in interrogatories and things on time. So they wanted the court to fine her $1,250. So we're going to go over that. All right. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Now, like I always say, we are not attorneys. We are not paralegals. We are not legal professionals. We just simply break down these topics and break down, these court documents using our common sense. All right, now, y'all. Now, we're going to be talking about what the hell had done went on down. Now, I need to know who y'all think these people is, okay? Child, who y'all think these people is? All right? Who y'all think these people is? I don't know. That look like that's Chloe. That look like that's Chris back there with that mask on. That look like that's Kylie over there next to Chris. And then that look like that's Kim or maybe Courtney. I don't know, child. I don't know. And then when you look at this one here, we all know who's Courtney's giving, because they got to make sure that Courtney got that goddamn blonde hair. And, I'm really thinking that, I don't know if this one is Chloe and this one's supposed to be Kim, but we know that's over there. That's Mama Chris. Okay. Child, these photos, I don't know. Let me try to move. Them got darn photos. I don't know who them people is supposed to be. Okay. But we know that that's Mama Chris, and those are her girls. Okay. So we're going to be discussing actually, what it was given in court today. All right. Now, there were some actual things discussed by Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner was on the stand today, Monday, 4/25. And that's going to be for those that, are catching the replay, years from down the line or next year when you hear about this and you feel like going and looking on the internet and you run across my video. Today is Monday, April 25th. Okay. And that's the day that Kylie Jenner got up on the stand and she expressed concerns. She expressed concerns to her brother, she said, about his new Blac Chyna relationship. Okay, now this is back in 2016, when they was about to do the show, and she had heard that Chyna had a tendency to abuse drugs and alcohol and become violent, and had gotten a possible glimpse of it herself, she told her brother. Now on the stand, she says, I felt it was my duty to express my concerns, but ultimately it was up to him. She's now 24, but at that time she was a teenager. And she said this on the witness stand today. She said her brother didn't heed her warnings, but continued with the relationship with Blac Chyna. Now, both Chyna and Kylie had previous relationships with rapper Tyga. We know this. Chyna having had a child with him. Now, Kylie said that Tyga told her dark stories of his time with Blac Chyna and showed her a 6-inch knife scar he said she gave him while abusing drugs and alcohol. Kylie continued to say on the witness stand that Tyga told her a lot of things about his time with Blac Chyna, that she was violent, she often got high and abused drugs and alcohol, and when she did, she would get violent and go on rampages. Now, Kylie said that while dating Tyga, she had received at least one threatening text message from Chyna. She says, From what I remember, she sent me a bunch of devil emojis and said something like counting down the days until she could beat me or something. But she said I didn't report it because I assumed they were just empty threats. Now, Kylie testified that when Rob and Chyna began dating in January of 2016, she didn't trust that Chyna's love was genuine. She said, I felt like me dating the father of her child had something to do with it, and maybe she was out with my brother for other reasons. Still, she said she was cautiously optimistic after they announced in April of 2016 that they were getting engaged, and said in May that they were going to be having a baby. She says, I was happy for my brother at the time, but just curious how it would go. Now, Rob and Chyna would premiere in September of 2016. The couple would have a daughter, Dream, in November, and in December, they would have an all-night celebration of their show being approved for a second season, but that turned into a bitter fight. That dispute and how violent it may have become was at the center of testimony last week from Chyna and Kris Jenner. Now, we know that Kris said that Chyna was being abusive towards her son, that she actually tried to kill him, that she pointed a gun at him, and that she wrapped a cord around his neck and tried to choke him. But Kris is saying that her saying that it was a joke, it was not a joke. Kris is saying that this girl is crazy. She tried to murder my son, and she tried to kill him by wrapping a cord around his neck. She was, waving guns and popping off guns. And, Chyna, of course, says this is not true. On the stand, Kris, who did not actually witness this fight, actually said on the stand that she felt like Chyna had tried to murder her son. Now, Kylie, whose home the two had been living in, testified that in the aftermath of this fight, she saw some of the damage and remembers her brother being emotionally traumatized, but couldn't recall seeing any evidence of the actual physical injury. Child, she definitely came away believing that the violence had been serious. She testified. She said that Rob used the words, "She was trying to kill me." Kylie returns to the witness stand tomorrow on Tuesday. Now, the two other defendants, Khloe Kardashian and Kim Kardashian, are expected to testify later in the week. Kim Kardashian was not in court today for the first time in the 6-day-old trial. Now, Jeff Old, who was the senior vice president of E! Back in 2016, he aired both Rob and Chyna and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He was in charge of airing both of those shows. He also testified, and he said that he approved a second season for the show, though further approval from his bosses still had to be needed. So it wasn't like he could just, give the green light. He said that the bosses still need to approve this, even though he had given his approval. But his actual excitement for more episodes was based on the idea that it would include Rob and Chyna getting married. He says, I thought it was really promising because with a wedding, that gave us a hook for season 2. Everyone loves a wedding. Now, Chyna's lawyer, Lynn Ciani, pressed the E! Executive over an email that he received from Kylie Jenner, expressing concerns about violent behavior from Chyna. The email is actually a key element of Chyna's defamation case, okay? It's some shit riding on this email. Now, Old testified that it did not especially influence his decision to reverse the course of going on for season 2. He said that I don't really take direction from 17-year-olds because we know at the time Kylie was 17. Now, a similar email soon after came from Khloe Kardashian, and she also was expressing that she didn't want them to have a season 2 of Rob and Chyna. And he said that her email also had little effect on his decision and on the network's decision to not air season 2. But he said it had little effect. So that means that it had some effect. He didn't say none. He said it had little effect. Now, it was the Rob and Chyna show, he says. And there was no more Rob and Chyna. It was not the show that we bought. So he is saying this is why the show was canceled, because Rob and Chyna was no more. Now, on the second day of her cross-examination now, this is where we get into talking about some Blac Chyna tea. Okay. Now, Blac Chyna revealed some pretty surprising information about her finances now. Now, while on the stand, she said that she doesn't have any personal bank accounts, all right, and that she has not paid taxes since 2018. What is it with these people not paying taxes? Okay, first we was doing Natasha K. They ain't paid no goddamn taxes since 2018. She ain't paid no taxes. What was going on in 2018 that these people thought that they didn't have to pay taxes? Okay, she said she ain't paid no taxes since 2018. Now, regarding her actual finances, Chyna claims that she makes about, from 2018 to 2020, she's made about $2 million just from celebrity appearances, walkthroughs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They paying her to be Blac Chyna. She done made about $2 million off of that. Okay. Now, she also shared that her primary source of income is OnlyFans, and she allegedly made $1 million on that, but they didn't give the year for that. So I don't know, when did OnlyFans come out? I don't know. Was it last year she made that? 2020? I don't know when, but she said that she made $1 million on OnlyFans. Now, when asked by the Kardashians' defense attorney, he said to her, "Isn't it a fact that you produced no text messages for this trial, for this case?" And Chyna confirmed by replying, "Yeah, I don't got nothing. I don't got no text messages, but I got plenty of text messages. We read them. Honey, we read them yesterday. I got plenty of text messages of Rob down there talking about he want to off himself and showing me photos of pills and everything like that. But honey, when it come to, text messages for this actual case, I ain't got none." Now, it's reported that she got emotional while on the stand when they moved on into this whole Rob showing her, the revenge porn. When Rob went on the social media rant, they said she got emotional when they showed her a binder of photos that included photos of herself. She was shaking and crying and had to be consoled. The nude photos are a key part of the Kardashians' argument in the case. The Kardashians argue that the show could not continue because of a 2017 incident where Rob Kardashian leaked nude photos of Chyna, which prompted her to get a restraining order against him. Now, when the Kardashians' attorney handed her a binder full of these images, she started crying. Okay, she was so shaken, she almost broke down. And when asked about the photos, Chyna replied, "You think I'm supposed to not let anything happen? Rob posted news of me on the internet. Do you want me to not do anything? So I'm just supposed to sit here and take this?" Child, what did you do? I guess you did sit there and take it, because with really nothing, nothing happened. But, she's suing him. Okay, so, child, when she filed this lawsuit back in 2017, and she stated, about the revenge porn and all of this, we read all that yesterday, right? Well, Rob actually had a rebuttal. He came back with his actual rebuttal, and this is what he actually said in the court documents, okay? Now, we're going to read them. Be patient with me. Again, I have to issue this disclaimer. This is a reading of court documents. It's kind of lengthy. So if you don't like, listening to somebody read, you might as well go on ahead and go on about your business, because we are going to be reading these documents and it's going to take some time. Okay? Now, I just want to let y'all know that it's going to take some time. All right. Now, let's see what it is giving. Okay. Now, this is the brief statement of the case for the revenge porn trial. That's what this document says in the front of it. Okay. It says, to the court and all parties and their attorneys of record. Plaintiff Angela White. Now, like I said, this is Rob's response. Okay, so Rob's attorneys, they drafted this. Plaintiff Angela White and defendant Rob Kardashian hereby submit their responsive brief statement of this case. Plaintiff's brief statement of the case. Plaintiff Angela White claims that she sent her romantic partner and ex-fiance, defendant Rob Kardashian, intimate, private nude photos of her at his request. Ms. White further claims that when the defendant, Rob Kardashian, became extremely angry that Ms. White was no longer exclusive with him, in a fit of rage and without her consent, he posted the intimate, private nude photos of her to his public Instagram account that has over 9 million followers. This caused the intimate and previously private nude photos of Ms. White to go viral globally and be seen by hundreds of millions of people, causing her to sustain mental pain and suffering, humiliation, and emotional distress. Now, Mr. Kardashian denies Ms. White's allegation that he posted the images without Ms. White's consent and denies that Ms. White had an expectation of privacy in the images. He also disputes that his conduct caused Ms. White to sustain any mental pain and suffering, humiliation, or emotional distress, and contends that Ms. White is not entitled to recover monetary damages. Defendant's statement of the case. Now, plaintiff Angela White claims that after she sent defendant Rob Kardashian semi-clothed and nude images of her, he reposted 3 of the images on Instagram, causing her to sustain mental pain and suffering, humiliation, and emotional distress. Mr. Kardashian denies Ms. White's allegation that he posted the images without Ms. White's consent and denies that Ms. White had an expectation of privacy in the images. He also disputes that his conduct caused Ms. White to sustain any mental pain and suffering. All right, so that's their signatures and everything, and I am going to give you the breakdown of what that actually means and what I have to think, to say about that. Now, what Rob is actually stating is that, listen, she did give me these nudes, okay? She gave them to me, and she did not have any expectation that they were going to stay private. In fact, she doesn't deserve any money, any monetary damages, because, yeah, I posted them. Yeah, I leaked them. But she's Blac Chyna. She's a slut. She's a previous stripper. All of these things. She's used to having her photos viewed. She's used to people seeing her nudes, her naked. So when she sent me these photos, she didn't think that, they were going to be private. She knew that I was going to post them. She knew that they had the potential to go online, and she's okay with that because she's Blac Chyna, a previous stripper, a social media influencer. Her body's painted all over Instagram. In fact, I've paid for her to get work done, all these things. So who is she to allege that I did this maliciously? In fact, she was well aware that when she sent me these photos, I was going to post them. Now, come on. I don't know where you think anyone is born at Rob Kardashian. Now, I know you are used to getting away with murder because of who your mama is and your daddy is and who your family is, and you got this Kardashian name. But where in the good and goddamn hell do you think anyone is going to believe that Miss Angela White, aka Blac Chyna, sent you her photos and said it was okay, that it was all right, that we know he's gonna post them? It's okay. I don't care. He can post my pictures of my nipples, my behind. You know what I'm saying? He can post all this on Instagram, and I'm not gonna have nothing to say. Also, with the captions and everything that he said, that I'm a drug addict, that I leave my daughter and I go party and I go get high. I knew he was gonna do all this, and I'm okay with that. Like, where the hell do you think we are, sir? Like, nope, this is not a reality show. See, then this is what's wrong with these Kardashians. Like, they are used to getting away with murder. They used to getting away with anything. You know, their name, their brand rings bells. So we can say and we can do anything. I mean, this is not reality TV. This is real life. No one gives you permission without permission to post nudes. Oh, yeah, you got 9 million followers. She was cool with that. Like, no, sir. We were not born yesterday. So that's basically what his argument is that she knew that when she sent me these photos, it was going to be posted on Instagram, and she did not object. In fact, she was in on it. Like, okay, sir. Oh, okay. So now, as I stated, back in 2019, I guess, Blac Chyna was having issues, I want to say, with, giving her interrogatories or responding to, the paperwork that was due to be turned in. She wasn't turning it in on time. So the attorneys actually wanted the court to issue sanctions against her in the amount of $1,250. Okay. And here's that paperwork right here. Now, this is the court being sent a request for sanctions. It says defendant's memorandum of points and authorities, opposition to plaintiff's motion to compel responses to special interrogatories, request for monetary sanctions in an amount not less than $1,250 against the plaintiff Angela White and her counsel of record, the Bloom firm. Now here is the intro. Plaintiff Angela White, aka Blac Chyna's motion to compel further responses to special interrogatories must be denied because it was not filed within 45 days after service of written responses by defendants Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian West, Khloe Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner. The plaintiff delayed more than 8 months before filing her motion without obtaining an extension of the statutory motion to compel deadline. Beyond that, the plaintiff did not give the required statutory notice when bringing her motion. Plaintiff's motion was electronically served and thus required 18 court days notice. The plaintiff's motion, however, was filed with only 16 court days notice and thus is flawed. The plaintiff also failed to meet and confer in good faith before filing her motion. As discussed below, in June of 2018, the plaintiff's counsel agreed, in the wake of the court's tentative ruling, providing guidance regarding the scope of discovery, to amend and narrow the discovery she propounded on the defendants. Despite this agreement, which was tantamount to an admission that the original demands were overbroad, the plaintiff was served amended discovery demands. When asked about the plaintiff's prior agreement to narrow her demands, the plaintiff's counsel simply ignored the defendant's request. The plaintiff also ignored the defendant's suggestion that the parties ask the court to set an informal discovery conference. The plaintiff never responded to this request or engaged in any substantive discussion of the issues. Instead, the plaintiff simply demanded immediate supplemental responses. Such conduct does not constitute a good faith effort to meet and confer as is required by the law, and is a third basis for denying the motion. Finally, the plaintiff's motion must be denied because the defendant's objections to the plaintiff's overbroad discovery was well taken. Because the plaintiff's motion fails on procedural and substantive ground, she is not entitled to an award of sanctions. So she was trying to sanction them for all of that I read above. And it says, to the contrary, monetary sanctions in the amount not less than $1,250 should be awarded against the plaintiff and her counsel, the Bloom firm, based on their conduct in filing an untimely and utterly meritless motion to compel. Now, on March 29, 2018, the plaintiff propounded her first set of specially prepared interrogatories on each of the defendants. Although the interrogatories propounded on each of the defendants were not identical, they all used the same grossly overbroad definitions of the terms you, your, and persons. Plaintiff defined you and your to refer to the responding defendant and to all persons acting or purporting to act on behalf of the responding defendant, including agents, employees, and representatives. The plaintiff defined person to mean an individual, corporation, partnership, trust, association, company, organization, or any form of a business or commercial entity. As a result of those grossly overbroad definition, the plaintiff's interrogatories purported to require the defendants to provide information regarding not only their personal conduct, but also regarding the conduct and contentions of all their agents. Now, the defendants timely served their responses to the plaintiff's first set of special interrogatories on April 30th of 2018. The defendants' responses contain only objections and were signed by the defendant's counsel as required. Now, the plaintiff's agreement to redraft her special interrogatories. On June 20th, 2018, the court issued its tentative ruling on third-party Bunham Murray Productions' motion for productive order and plaintiff's motions to compel production of documents from BMP and third-party E. So that this down here just further talks about what the court wrote about that. In connection with the foregoing causes of action, any documents reflecting communications between or among the Kardashian Jenner defendants and only those responsible for the decision not to produce the second season of Rob and Chyna are obviously relevant and discoverable. So they wanted those emails or conversations that showed anyone that had power over there at the production company and anyone that was responsible for the decision to not air Rob and Chyna season 2. Those were the communications that they wanted. In this regard, however, the plaintiff admits that defendant's statements occurred in December of 2016 and January of 2017. See plaintiff's separate statements. Thus, discovery as to defamatory communications should be limited to that time period. So, moreover, documents pertaining to the decision to produce or not produce the second season should span only a few months before the alleged defamatory statements to show that the second season was initially a go, and the period following such alleged defamatory statements after December 2016 to demonstrate the decision-making process behind ultimately not producing a second season. So they want to reflect that E actually pulled the plug because of the Kardashians' protest. They want to see communication that would show what was happening prior to not airing and after, to see if there was any discussion of this. Like, okay, they were gonna be doing the show, but after all these communications, now they didn't do it. So they want that communication. Now, on August 1st, 2018, the court issued a second tentative ruling relating to the third-party discovery motions. In its August 2018 tentative ruling, the court repeated the same guidance set forth in the June 2018 tentative, again encouraging the plaintiff to narrow her overbroad discovery. And they're saying, in discovery, what discovery is when you were, turning in all your evidence and stuff like that. They're saying that Blac Chyna had an just a overbroading amount. She had too much, and they wanted her to narrow it down. Okay, she was gonna turn in too much. So the court's tentative regarding the Bunham, Murray, and E motion to compel provides suggestions to the plaintiff regarding narrowing her document request as to those third parties. The court's suggestions may be applicable to at least some of the document requests served on the defendants. I plan to look at the tentative a little more closely and see if it will agree to narrow some or all of the document requests directed to the defendants in a similar manner. Also, what this is also stating is that when you issue a motion to compel, you're asking for documents. So Chyna's team was also asking for E and the Kardashians team to submit documents, and they were saying that it was too much. She needed to narrow that down as well. They only wanted her, want them to stick to a little bit of time prior to the so-called airing and a little bit of time after. They don't want, and I'm telling you, when I looked at the exhibit list, there's a couple exhibit lists. There's one that we're going to look at, but there was a couple in the court docket. Some of these are 1,026 pages long, and you got to pay for each page, right? I was like, I wish I would pay over $100 some odd dollars for a exhibit list to show what they're actually entering in as evidence, and where it is doesn't even show you the actual evidence. It just labels what it is. 1,026 pages, that's a lot of damn evidence in a damn case that you're just trying to prove that these people affected your bag, that they canceled the show because of some emails and because of the Kardashians saying that your show should be canceled. How the hell you come up with 1,026 goddamn pages of evidence? Like, this is just a defamation. Like, this ain't nobody on trial for murder. Ain't nobody on trial for assault. Like, come on. Okay, this is just defamation. This is just affecting somebody's bag. 1,026. And that's not even the only list. There's like 2 more exhibit lists. Like the one that we're going to go over, I think is very long, and we're going to just scan through it. And it doesn't even show you the actual pieces of evidence. Child, I said, you know what, these people. Now in court, you'll see the actual evidence. Now, the plaintiff's refusal to engage in a meaningful meet and confer. The plaintiff said nothing about supplemental responses to her special interrogatories for months. Even after the court lifted the stay resulting from the filing of the defendant's anti-SLAPP motion on November 20, 2018, the plaintiff remained silent regarding her discovery. Then, in mid-January of 2019, the plaintiff sent an email demanding that the defendant serve supplemental responses to the plaintiff's special interrogatories. The plaintiff refused, however, to meaningfully discuss the scope of her discovery. Defendant's counsel asked the plaintiff about her prior agreement to narrow the scope of her discovery. The plaintiff said she would limit the time period for her inspection demands, but never responded to the defendant's inquiries as to whether the plaintiff was willing to limit the definitions or scope of her discovery in accordance with the court's prior guidance. The plaintiff likewise never responded to the defendant's suggestion that they ask the court to hold an informal discovery conference in lieu of engaging in motion practice. So basically what they're meaning right there is that she never wanted to sit down and do a do a meeting to actually discuss the scope of her discovery. What she wanted, the court had already directed her to narrow down her scope of discovery, meaning narrow down some of what you're asking to be produced from the defendants, but she never wanted to sit down and go over this. And they're like, listen, this is too much. We're asking you to meet. They don't even answer back. So this is part of why sanctions were being asked for. Now, the argument, the plaintiff's motion is untimely, and the court therefore lacks jurisdiction to do anything but deny it. Now, the Code of Civil Procedure establishes a clear deadline for filing motions to compel further responses to special interrogatories. Code of Civil Procedure 2030 states that notice of a motion to compel further responses to interrogatories must be served within 45 days after service of the response. Otherwise, the propounding party waives any right to compel a further response. As the Court of Appeal recognized, this statutory deadline is mandatory and renders the court without authority to rule on motions to compel other than to deny them. Now, this statute is mandatory and the court may not entertain a motion to compel. Here, as plaintiff concedes, the discovery responses at issue were served by the defendants on April 30th, 2018. The plaintiff's motion was not filed until February 20th of 2019. That's more than 8 months late. The court therefore has no authority to do anything but deny the motion. Just like, this wasn't even, they didn't respond on time, they turned it on time. So there's no jurisdiction over it. I mean, 8 months late? Like, what the hell were you doing? 8 months? That's a long time. Woo! Counsel for the parties discussed the untimeliness of the plaintiff's motion prior to its filing. During these discussions, the plaintiff's counsel communicated a belief that the motion is timely, even though it was filed more than 8 months after defendants served their objections, because the objections were not verified by the individual defendants. Defendants' responses, however, consisted of only objections and therefore did not need to be verified by the parties themselves. Code of Civil Procedures 2030.250 expressly provides that responses which contain only objections do not need to be signed by the client. Rather, such responses must be signed by counsel. So they're saying that, they didn't need to be verified because these were all objections. Her responses were nothing but objections. They rejected to everything. Objected to everything. Defendants' responses were all signed by counsel as required by the statute. Accordingly, the responses were full and complete when they were served on April 30th, 2018, and the 45-day clock began ticking that day. Legislative analysis of the bill that added the term verified to the statute, which is the basis of the plaintiff's argument, confirms that the statutory deadline for filing a motion to compel begins running upon service of responses that contain only objections and that are signed by the counsel. In particular, the analysis refers to an attorney's signing of responses, which contain only objections as a verification. Now, the legislative analysis is also instructive for what it does not say. If the legislator has intended to change the law to provide that the motion to compel deadline does not begin running when a party serves objections signed by the counsel, it would have said so. So such a dramatic change would be contrary to the law established in other cases, and it would not be made without comment. There's absolutely no suggestion of such an intent in the legislative analysis. So now they're getting ready, they're talking, legal mumbo jumbo going back and forth. And they said, for these reasons, the court must find that the statutory time period for the plaintiff to move to compel further responses to her special interrogatories ran long before the plaintiff filed her motion in 2019. Therefore, the plaintiff's motion to compel is untimely and should be denied on that basis alone. All right, so then they said that she didn't give adequate notice. And then it says again that the plaintiff did not meaningfully meet and confer. They're saying that she wanted to ask for discovery, but she didn't want to sit and meet with them. They also say that the same intent to burden and harass should be drawn, whereas here a litigant refuses to narrow her grossly overbroad request. The case, in fact, presents an egregious example of such harassment. The court twice admonished the plaintiff to narrow the scope of her discovery request, providing clear guidance as to how she should do so. The plaintiff represented that she was going to amend and narrow her demands in accordance with the court's guidance, but she never did. And instead, she filed a motion based on her original overbroad discovery. The plaintiff's conduct smacks of gamemanship and bad faith and should not be condoned. So they're saying even though the court keeps telling you that you needed to narrow down what you were asking for, she never did. They never did. And they said, we need to, it shouldn't be condoned. And they need to slap them with sanctions. Now, the plaintiff's motion does not even attempt to explain the relevance of her overbroad demands. Plaintiff's motion contains absolutely no explanation regarding the relevance of the information demanded in her interrogatories, nor does the plaintiff make any effort to justify or explain the grossly overbroad definitions used in the interrogatories, which expand them well beyond the permissible scope of discovery. The court should not grant the plaintiff's motion to compel, given the glaring absence of even the most minimal discussion regarding relevance and the merits of the defendant's asserted objections. The plaintiff is not entitled to sanctions because she was trying to file sanctions against them, saying that why should we give what she's asking? Because first of all, the court told her to narrow down her scope. She did not. You can't ask for sanctions against us when your paperwork wasn't turned in on time. It was eight months late. And then you still didn't even narrow down the scope of the discovery requested. For the reasons discussed above, the plaintiff's motion just should not be granted, should be denied. Accordingly, there is no statutory basis for awarding sanctions against the defendants. Now, they flipped it and said the court should issue an award of sanctions in the amount not less than $1,250 against the plaintiff and her counsel, which is the Bloom firm. Okay, they saying you want to file sanctions against us, but it's actually you. Now it says the Code of Civil Procedure 2032.90 states that the court shall impose a monetary sanction under Chapter 7, commencing with Section 2023, against any party, person, or attorney who unsuccessfully makes a motion to compel a response to interrogatories unless it finds that the one subject to the sanction acted with substantial justification or that other circumstances makes the imposition of the sanction unjust. Sanctions may also be awarded when a party fails to engage in a good faith meet and confer before filing a motion to compel. So I think even just reading that explanation right there, that they probably would have been entitled to sanctions. I was looking at it and see if the sanctions were awarded, and I'm going to look again to see, but there's so much paperwork with this case. I didn't see if the sanctions were awarded. But just with what they're saying here, that they never did the meet and confer, she never narrowed down. I mean, just in that, I can see where the $1,250 would have been granted. It says, as discussed above, both circumstances exist here. Accordingly, monetary sanctions in the amount not less than $1,250 should be awarded against the plaintiff and her counsel of record, the Bloom firm, for their conduct in filing an utterly meritless motion and for failing to meet and confer in good faith. For all the foregoing reasons, the defendant respectfully requests that plaintiff's motion be denied in its entirety. The defendants further respectfully request that the plaintiff and her counsel of record, the Bloom firm, be sanctioned in an amount not less than $1,250 based on their misuse of the discovery process. And so then it just shows the proof of service. So what are you guys thinking in these comments? Let me read y'all comments. See what y'all seeing. Callie25 says, I'm not picking sides. I wouldn't want Chyna dating my brother. She flipped out crazy on her Zeus We show, and Rob shouldn't have leaked her photos. Both are wrong. Hey, Universal Tea with Marie. Alana James says the producer of the show would have known if their relationship was rocky or violent. Cocoa Butter Barbie says the K's are so jacked up, hopping on the stand like some buzzards. Child, you know they gonna get up there. Alana says they painted those pictures like that on purpose, right? I mean, those are like those photos that they people draw of you when you on the boardwalk, child. But you know, that's just how they've been doing our courtroom photos like forever. That's how they draw them. The people that draw the court, you know, photos of people. I don't know why they draw it like that. I think that's just court. That's like the what do you call that? The standard, the courtroom drawing standard, photo drawing standard. Like that's just what they. I mean, look at these cartoon characters. Look at this mess. Look at this. Look at the judge back there, child, with his hands crossed. Everybody got now I need to know why some people have on masks and some people don't have on masks. Chris got her mask on. The judge clearly got his mask on, but ain't none of these gals got their mask on, and neither does the attorney. I need to know what that is. Kate says this lawsuit should have been settled up. Basically, they just don't want to give that girl nothing. So is Chyna not the victor? We don't know yet. It's not over. They are still, you know, they still in a trial. You know, it hasn't concluded or anything. They actually saying that Khloe and Kourtney are scheduled to testify this week as well. I think it's going to be over this week because they said it wasn't going to last that long. So it's probably going to be over by the end of the week or the next week. The elders are wearing their mask. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Kylie says Chris looks different in both paintings. Like, right? She looks there, and then look here. They got her looking. That looked like Judge Judy, or looked like a different woman. But I don't know. Maybe that wasn't Chris. I don't know. But I know this right here is giving Chris. That's giving Chris. That's Chris all day long. This white woman back here, I don't know who that white woman was up there in the corner. And that is definitely Chyna, honey. That's Chyna all the way. Yes. So now let's take a look at one of the exhibit lists, okay? They have an exhibit list a proposed exhibit list that they would be. Now, this is 42 pages long, okay? This is Plaintiff Angela White against all of the Kardashians. This list does not include exhibits for impeachment purposes. This list is made for identification purposes only without stipulating to admissibility. This joint exhibit trial exhibit list should not be constructed as a stipulation regarding the relevance, authenticity, or admissibility of any exhibits offered into evidence at the time of trial, except with respect to those exhibits specifically stipulated as admissible below. Except for those documents stipulated as admissible, the parties reserve their rights to interpose any and all evidentiary objections at the time of trial in this matter. Now, this is an exhibit list description. It tells, like, you know, they name each thing. 2016, December 14th, unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna showing Chyna and Rob interacting at Kylie Jenner's house. Next is a transcript of 12/14 unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna showing Chyna and Rob interacting at Kylie Jenner's house. So number 1 is the actual video of it, and number 2 is the actual transcript, the written words, you know, of that actual airing. Now, unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna showing Chyna moving out of Kylie Jenner's house. And then it would be the transcript of that. And then the next exhibit is 12/16/2016, full unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna at the dentist. And this is Rob at the dentist. Then it would be the transcript of Rob at the dentist. Then it's unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna at the dentist again. And then it's the transcript, excerpts. And then it keeps going, excerpts of them at the dentist. Keeps going, excerpts of them at the dentist. Damn, how many excerpts of them at the dentist? That's over 10. Then it goes down into 12/14/2016 Snapchat video of Chyna's nails across Rob's chest, showing a torn shirt. Then it's a transcript of Snapchat video of Chyna's nails across Rob's chest, showing a torn shirt. Then 12/17/2016, it's a Snapchat video taken by Rob showing Kylie Jenner's home was not trashed and Rob's unharmed face. Rob's Chyna left me Snapchat video. And then it is the transcript of that. Then the next exhibit is season 13, episode 7 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Then it is a transcript of that episode. Then the next is a transcript of excerpts from season 13, episode 7. And then it continues with excerpts again from season 13, episode 7. Then we have excerpts from season 1, episode 1 of Rob and Chyna, a transcript of the excerpts. Then we have another excerpt from season 1, episode 2 of Rob and Chyna. Then we have the transcript of that. And that's how this continues on for the next page. And then they have coming up excerpts from Rob and Chyna of Baby Dream special. Okay. In season 1, episode 5, Rob and Chyna. And then they have on 2/25/2016 an article titled Q&A, New E-President is looking beyond the Kardashians, aiming to replace current hit with future hit. Then it's a May 6, 2016 email from Walter Mosley to Lance Klein regarding TV offers. Then on 2016, the talent agreement for Angela White, aka Blac Chyna, is being used as an exhibit. Then there is an email from Jeffrey Old, who was the E executive producer, to Damla Dogan, Noah Polak, Leela Pond, and Leela Roof. And it was regarding the screening approach. Then there is an email from Lance Klein to Robert Kardashian, Kris Jenner, and Kim Kardashian regarding Rob and Chyna week 4. Then there's emails from Francis Burrick to Adam Stotsky regarding green lights. All right, and that's in November 1st, 2016 and November 8th, 2016. Then it is greenlit summary. Then there is 11/9/2016 green light PDM for season 2 of Rob and Chyna. Now that looks like a very key piece of evidence, because if the show was not green lit and if they were not going to originally have a season 2, why would they have green light emails, and why would they be saying green light PDM for season 2 of Rob and Chyna? It says it right there that they already had it greenlit, and that's an email. The producers are talking about it. So then the next piece of evidence is a log line or scene description emails for unaired footage of season 2 of Rob and Chyna, and it's sent between November 2016 and January 2017. So they already had unaired footage of season 2, and they already had scene descriptions. And December 13th of 2016, an email from Christelle Wheeler and Walter Mosley, and they CC Dana Powers and Joan Park regarding Rob and Chyna Season 2 pickup release. And then there's text messages between Kris Jenner and Ailey O'Neal on December 15th and December 16th. Then December 15th, there's an email from NBC Universal to NBC Universal E! Entertainment containing a press release for Rob and Chyna Season 2. Now there's text messages between Farran's Farm and Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner. And I wonder what that text message exchange is about. Now the email between Jeffree and Adam Stosky, it's a forwarding email from Kylie Jenner to Jeffree Farnes and GCC Khloe Kardashian regarding Rob and Chyna. So that's probably that email that was from Kylie and them. That was, and she CC'd Khloe. That's probably the email where they were saying they didn't want them to go forward with the Season 2. I mean, it looks like from the exhibit list, it looks like Chyna really probably does have her ducks in a row with proving that the Kardashians stopped her bag, that they told these executives, stop the show. We don't think that they should have a show. If they can prove that, if these emails, like, we don't have copies, it's probably once the trial is over, they might enter those, on the docket, and you're going to be able to really see these emails, and you might, but a lot of times they seal these documents, so the documents could be sealed, and we might not see what the actual emails are. But it looks like she's making her case here. I mean, these are multiple emails. Here's some more emails from Rob to his sisters. Here's the emails from Jeffree, the producer, to Lance Klein regarding Rob and Chyna. Here's Khloe Kardashian forwards an email to Farnaz Farm, and the email is from Rob to Kris and all the rest of them. And it says, don't want to fight. Now, why would Khloe forward an email to a producer that her brother had written to her and her family? And it says, don't want to fight. What do they need to see that for? Well, that could be them trying to prove to the producers that Rob and Chyna, they're going through things. Rob's unstable, he's emotionally, they don't need to have that show. That's what, that's proving her case. Further proving it. Now, there's an email between Jeff Jenkins, Dan Ladogan, to Jeff Old, Julie, and it says checking in. Now, there's an email between Samantha Ball, Lance Klein, who's an assistant, Kim Kardashian regarding LKDH with Kim Kardashian West regarding Rob and Chyna contract. Email from Lance Klein to David Harris regarding Blac Chyna talent agreement. Now, this is that email that Blac Chyna was talking about, where they were discussing her talent agreement. Now, there's an email from more producers and things from E! Going back and forth. And then here, these emails, they're talking about keeping up with the Kardashians. And then they have a Life and Style magazine article that was written on July 5th of 2017 that says Kylie Jenner's reality show is the disappointment heard round the world. Guess her show was a flop. Now, February 4th, 2020, plaintiff Angela White's amended response and general objections to defendant Kris Jenner's special interrogatory number 7 is an exhibit. Pay stub of Angela White on 12/12/2016. Then there's a confidentiality agreement of Angela White. Then there is the promo video for Rob and Chyna Season 1. And there's a transcript for that. Then they have another email from Dana Gorfunkel to Sonny Franklin and a bunch of other executives. And this is a log line combined already shot footage for season 2. And then they have the scenes. And they have the scenes titled. Then they have photographs of Blac Chyna and Kim Kardashian. Photographs of Blac Chyna, Kim Kardashian with Minnie Mouse, Angela White promoting lipstick, Angela White and Tyga from a music video, Angela White on magazine covers, Angela White and Tyga on magazine cover of Urban Ink, Angela White and Kim Kardashian. These are photos. Photos again of Blac and Kim. Angela White and Nicki Minaj from a music video. Angela White and Nicki Minaj from a music video again. Angela White with Tina Knowles. Angela White with Rihanna from a music video. Angela White and Bow Wow. Angela White and Amber Rose. Angela White at awards ceremony. I don't know what all of those are needed for. I guess they're trying to show that she's a celebrity now and that she has celebrity, relationships. Maybe that she's doing just fine. Okay, if she, they interrupted her bag, she's doing just fine because she's with all these celebrities. I don't know. Or that she's a clout chaser. I don't know. But I don't know why they need photos of her and Bow Wow, her and Amber Rose, her at an awards ceremony. Photo of Blac and Kourtney Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, and Khloe Kardashian, and another female, it says, and couples photo with Angela White, Tyga, Kanye West, and Kim Kardashian. Photo of Angela White with Kourtney Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, and 2 other females. Photo of Dream with Minnie Mouse with Angela and Rob Kardashian. A photo of Angela White by herself. A photo of Angela White, Tyga, and King. A photo of Angela White, Tyga, King with Mickey Mouse. Child. Then they got excerpts from the music video, Tyga, Rack City. I don't know what they're trying to say. That he talking about Blac Chyna in that video? Who knows, child. But these are just exhibits, like photos. Rob holding baby Dream at Disneyland. Like, what? Rolling in on it. Daily Mail article. Rolling in on it. Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna celebrate their reality show getting renewed by making out while covered in $100 bills. This was on December 15th of 2016. Photo of Chyna on Rob's lap at her New York City club appearance in mid-January of 2017. Happy Father's Day video. This is just Kylie Jenner's response to Angela White's special interrogatories. Kylie Jenner and Rob Kardashian First Amendment complaint. Kylie Jenner and Rob Kardashian complaint. Video of Angela White on or about with Rob Kardashian at the hospital before Angela White's surgery. Excerpts from Kylie Jenner's January 2017 sizzle reel for Life of Kylie. And then they start talking about the revenge porn stuff in here. Whew, child. Okay, so I'm just going to try to scan through and see if we can see any. Because this is 42 pages long. Okay, so here's an article. December 19th of 2016, a life and style article entitled Blac Chyna admits to hitting Rob in an Instagram hack. I don't want to treat him like Tyga. Emails between Julie St. Auburn, Jeffrey Old, Damla Dogan, and Christelle Wheeler regarding Is Weekly Rob and Chyna Season 2. Instagram hack reveals private messages between Blac Chyna and Kylie Jenner's ex, Jaden Smith. Then there's a news article from E! Drunk Blac Chyna beats Rob Kardashian. New details on the couple's dramatic blowout. A new report on Rob and Chyna's breakup is scary. Blac Chyna was drunk and physically assaulted Rob Kardashian during an ugly fight that took place just before their brief split. Not them using articles from blogs as evidence. Like, how are we using that for courtroom evidence? Like, you don't know if those things actually took place. This is just an account of so-called sources and people putting out information. Like, how are you using that as evidence to substantiate that this stuff actually happened? Here's more emails about her talent agreement. Hold on, you guys. Yeah, but it just appears that a lot of this, this exhibit list is long. When I say long, it's long. Request for domestic violence restraining order. They want to see that. And more emails. This is 42 pages long. An invoice from Blac Chyna to E! Entertainment. Oh, there's a People article entitled Blac Chyna loses endorsement deal with stroller company after their Six Flags outbursts. And there's another article from TMZ who reported the same thing about her outburst. There's a VH1 news article entitled People Are Pissed Blac Chyna is peddling a new skin whitening product in the name of securing a bag. Blac Chyna slammed for endorsing skin lightening cream, which she plans to promote in Africa. Blac Chyna drunk or on drugs on Instagram Live. Not cute. Shaking my head. That's a YouTube video by somebody. Ooh, child. So this is basically, that's what the rest of this is just exhibit after exhibit, exhibit after exhibit, and it's all like newspaper articles. And I believe that her strongest piece of evidence, look, these are screen captures of Instagram posts by Blac Chyna, Black Hamptons, Blac Chyna, comfy shopping day, cash only out now. So these were exhibits of supposedly showing that she's not, losing any money. This exhibit list is from basically both sides, it looks like. They're trying to show, on one hand, she's not losing any money because she's still out here getting a bag. And then on the other hand, they want to show that the Kardashians were sending emails to the E! producers trying to affect her bag. She had a talent agreement. They were discussing her talent agreement. Why they would be discussing her talent agreement is beyond me. And why a 17-year-old would be included in any of these conversations is beyond me. Like, why would a 17-year-old, why would, Khloe or Kim or the mom or any of them be including Kylie and Kendall in any of these emails. I mean, they were kids at the time. Okay, let's see what y'all talking about. What they are trying to say is they ain't responsible for her bag stopping. She's still in the mix with Hollyweird. Right. They thought BC Glow Up would outshine them. I understand why BC took them to court. Exactly. It was said Kim offered her $100K. Chyna says she got $90K an episode. Yes, we went over that yesterday. So yes, it was said that she got $92,500 per episode, and they instead of airing, I think it was the season 2, they offered her to be in Keeping Up with the Kardashians for 4 episodes, and they were going to pay her the same amount of money that she was making on the Blac Chyna show. But she said the whole $100K that she supposedly or allegedly received, she said that is her signature on that paper, but she didn't sign it. We went over that yesterday. She said, yeah, that is my signature, but I didn't sign that. That does look like my signature, but I didn't sign it. She said, why would I sign, to kill my show, like my #1 show, hit show? Why would I want, to accept $100,000 for that? I don't know. Do we believe that? But I guess they can always show if there was a check or there's a paper trail. If she did accept it, they can show that it was cashed. That's all they got to do. All they got to do is just show a canceled check. That's easy enough. Fair enough. If you paid her $100,000 in the form of a check, all they got to do is show the canceled check. I'm just saying. So we will continue to follow this court case. Tomorrow they are expected to resume resume testimony. Okay, I believe Courtney, Chloe, they are scheduled to testify this week. So we're going to be paying attention to all that, and we'll try to provide an update every day. We then will be jumping on over into Tory and Meg's case. We'll try to start reviewing that tomorrow as well. I looked at theirs. They don't really have the court documents. I was looking for the actual complaint, but because this is a criminal case, it's a little different. But I'm trying to get the court documents. I'm trying to see if there's any transcripts or anything like that. But generally, a transcript is not really available until court is over. Really, to know what's going on inside the court, you got to be getting someone that's there, or whatever they put out in the media. But I did find the case, but I'm just looking for the paperwork. And for now, all I saw on the LA Superior Court was what's happening, like what has happened in it so far, where they are, his bail, stuff like that. But actually the complaint and the paperwork, I'm still looking for that. Okay, so you guys, let me know what you think. If you catch the replay, drop down in the comments. Do y'all think that they are really, that they really affected her? That they stopped the bag? That they canceled the show on purpose? That they really had something to do with this? I really believe her case is strong. I really do. I don't know. I need to know right now. I need to know right now before we end this video. I need to know what y'all think. Do y'all think that she really has a case? Do you believe that her argument is strong? Now, we know she got a case, because if she didn't have a case, it would be thrown out. But what I mean when I say, do you really think that she has a case? Do you think her argument is strong? It looks like from the exhibits and the emails, what she's saying is lining up with those emails. It looks that way. Like she said that they received an email from Kylie Jenner. Courtney, it received an email from Chloe, that they sent these emails to the producers. It looks that way. Looks that way to me. So I want to know what y'all think. It is all so messy, Maya says. Okay. Yes, probably Toxic K is toxic. Hey girl says yes, they did. I believe it. I believe it. I believe that the Kardashians, they are self-centered. If it is not about their family, it's not about the advancement of any one of the Kardashians, they really don't care anything about it. Now, Dream is their granddaughter because that's Rob's child, but I don't get that same energy that they give for, Chloe's kid, that they give for Kim's kids, that they give for Kourtney's kids. I don't, Kylie's kids. I don't get that same energy for Dream because of who her mother is and who her grandmama is, Tokyo Toni. Even though that's their granddaughter, that's her son's child, her only son. She ain't got no other boy, it just feels like they treat her different. She does seem to be maybe on the outside looking in when it comes to the rest of these kids, but I do believe that Blac Chyna has an argument and she has a point, and I believe that she is going to prove her point in court. The evidence is going to show that they did this. I just don't, at 17 years old, what is Kylie doing in a conversation with grown people? Go sit your ass down somewhere, girl. That's what she should have been told. Go sit your... But of course she wasn't, because she was down there having plastic surgery at that age. Child, she was dating Tyga, 17. I mean, a lot of things was going on down there to the Kardashian. But yes, Robin says some things don't line up, like the signature, but sounds like she has a case to me. I mean, yes, that does not line up. You said it's not your signature, but you didn't sign it, but it is your signature. She says, yes, that looks like my signature, but I didn't sign it. Okay, who did sign it, girl? So all they got to do is check and see the cancel check. Did it go in your bank account? Whose bank account did it? Wasn't like you went on down to the check casher and cashed that thing, $100,000. Child. So to be honest with you, I believe she did take the $100,000. I do believe that. There's no way. That's your signature, but you didn't sign it. Who signed it, girl? Sometimes maybe we do things in the heat of the moment. Maybe they told her that it was for something else and she didn't realize that the show was going to be canceled. Maybe she thought it was going to be postponed or put on hold, and they say, here, we're just going to put you, until y'all figure out the restraining order thing, or until we figure out how we're going to be able to work around this. So here's just $100,000. She was already getting $92.50 for each episode. I mean, so just round that up to $100K. So maybe they said, we're just going to give you this just to, wait and see what goes on with the restraining order and see how we can film. So we're just going to give you this just to put in your pocket. Maybe she thought that was the case and didn't realize that her show was actually going to be canceled and not going to air. It could be something like that. So we will see. We will continue to follow this, and we will continue to update you on what goes on down there to the Keeping It Up with the Kardashian clan. Okay? So, you guys, this has been another edition of the SweetPeaDiaries. You guys, thank you for being here. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.